Man, 2025 kicked off with pure chaos in the rap game. Joey Bada Dollar decided he was done sitting quiet and lit the fuse on a West Coast versus East Coast rumble. It all started when he dropped The Ruler's Back, calling himself the king of New York and accusing the West of doing way too much D-licking for Kendrick Lamar. That little spark, it turned into a wildfire. But instead of Kendrick stepping down from his throne, the West Coast troops came charging in. Cats like Daylyt, J.I.D. Jenkins, and most of all, Vaughn jumped in swinging. And Ray? Oh, he came with venom. His freestyle over the Heart Part 6 wasn't just a diss, it was a surgical strike. Ray called Joey a clout chaser with no hits, mocking his acting career and saying he hasn't dropped anything major since 2017. He hit him with lines like, "Baby teeth, you ain't even got a plaque yet." A double entendre about both Joey's career stage and his missing gold platinum certifications. And Ray didn't stop there. He went straight for Joey's pride, pointing out that all these years and albums later, none of them officially went gold. Joey had been chasing acting checks on TV shows like Power instead of stacking plaques in the studio. Ray's message was clear. You can't come for Kendrick when you ain't even proven yourself against the younger sharks. Ray kept flipping the blade, clowning Joey's RedBull freestyle with Absol and Big Sean, saying Joey didn't even deserve to stand next to a heavyweight like Kendrick. He threw in sports, movie, and street references. Don't let Power get your TV turned off, connecting Joey's acting gig to the threat of getting shut down in the rap arena. He even compared Joey's verses to a BBL, fake, inflated, and costly. And the disrespect didn't stop. He joked Joey should fetch coffee for his label bosses and claimed Joey's whole crew, Pro Era, could be put on a pro club, slang for putting them on a t-shirt, aka taking them out. Joey, of course, wasn't letting that slide. He fired back with the finals, coming solo, aimed right at Ray and sending subliminals to Kendrick. Joey mocked Ray for being signed to Top Dog Entertainment but acting like a small dog, saying he's more like a Shih Tzu. He tore into Ray's catalog, claiming nobody can name a single song of his besides the diss. And Joey even flipped the Tupac-style Death Row East idea, joking about starting TD East and signing Ray himself, claiming he'd done more for Ray's career in a week than TDE had in 5 years. But underneath all that banter, Joey's target was never really Ray. It was always Kendrick. He accused Ray and the rest of the West of riding Kendrick's coattails, defending a man who wouldn't even give them his phone number. He dared Kendrick to sit down, be humble, while warning this would be the biggest shine of Ray's career. Joey painted himself as the seasoned vet, the East Coast warrior ready for the so-called West Coast king. It wasn't just about bars, it was about respect. Thing is, this ain't new. Joey and Kendrick's paths crossed before. Back in 2013, after Kendrick dropped Control, Joey responded with Killuminati PT2, feeling overlooked and taking offense at Kendrick calling himself King of New York. Fast forward to now, the stakes are way higher. Both men have built their legacies, and Joey's once again knocking on Kendrick's door. The real question, will Kendrick answer, or will he let Ray and the West Coast hitters keep handling his light work? Vaughn wasn't backing down either. Just a day after Joey's RedBull freestyle, Ray dropped Ho Era, the name itself a direct shot at Joey's crew, Pro Era. And man, this track, it was pure disrespect. Ray kicked it off with a Birdman style, is you finished or is you done? And clowned Joey for getting himself into what he called a 20 votes won by baiting Kendrick, but ending up fighting the whole West. He went for humiliation, not just competition. He compared Joey's career to baby teeth, saying he's still in the early stages and can't bite down on real challenges. He checked Joey's numbers, implying he's got no plaques, no stats, no real receipts. And the jabs kept coming, from "we really shooting" to telling Joey his last hit was back in 2017. Ray played with wordplay heavy. He talked about seasoning, saying Joey's salty while flipping it into West Coast in season. He threatened to spark him at the Staples Center, tossed in basketball and WNBA bars, and made fun of Joey's acting gigs, telling him don't let Power get your TV turned off. Even conductor references came in, the producer behind beats for Joey, Drake, and Cole, with Ray mocking Joey for sounding like a jazz band instead of a threat. And then Ray got surgical. He questioned why Joey was going after Dot, a nod to Kendrick's old rap name, K. Dot, comparing him to Pac-Man chasing dots in a game he can't win. He name-dropped Joey's fiancée, hinted at ghostwriting for her, and straight up said Joey's 3-pack of dices, The Ruler's Back, Sorry Not Sorry, and Pardon Me, were trash. He brought up the Drake versus Kendrick beef as an example, saying Joey's no different from an actor trying to play a rapper. Even CJ Fly, Joey's close ally, caught strays with Ray mocking his use of free video editing software for diss videos. Ray's whole energy was, "You're not built for this." He told Joey to stop acting and get active, reminded him his last real slap was 8 years ago, and dropped lines about turning him into an album rollout, meaning beef with Joey would only boost Ray's own name. And then came the knockout insult. "You let Ice Spice turn into the king of New York." That wasn't just a jab, that was a straight gut punch to Joey's crown claim. Joey's response in the finals showed he wasn't rattled. He opened with Ray's own "stupid or you dumb" line, flipped it back on him and got right into dog metaphors, calling Ray a Shih Tzu, saying he's all bark, no bite, and that it's time to put him on a collar. He predicted Ray would be dropped from TDE just like Reason was in 2024, saying he'd be the reason it happened. The disrespect was layered. Joey called himself a seasoned vet euthanizing sick pups and claimed Ray's biggest moment came from this beef, not his own music. And Joey wasn't shy about aiming back at Kendrick through Ray. He accused Ray of defending a man who wouldn't even let him in his house or give him his number, calling it thirst disguised as hunger. He warned Kendrick to be humble and threw in a bar about this being the biggest shine Ray would ever see. Joey also claimed he'd been rapping at this level since Illuminati PT2 and dared Kendrick to step up if he was looking for real competition. The history adds weight here. Joey's not just some random taking shots, he's been in this conversation before. In 2013, after Kendrick's Control verse shook the game, Joey fired back with his own diss, feeling like Kendrick disrespected New York without mentioning him. Back then, he was an up-and-comer with one classic mixtape, 1999. Now, over a decade later, he's a veteran, still chasing that battle with Kendrick. And while Ray Vaughn's presence is undeniable in this current back and forth, Joey's eyes are clearly locked on the bigger prize. This ain't just about who's got the better punchlines. It's about territory, legacy, and pride. The West Coast golden child versus New York's self-proclaimed king. Ray's keeping the West guard up, Joey's trying to drag the boss into the arena, and Kendrick, for now he's watching, letting his soldiers handle the front line. The stage is set, but whether Kendrick steps onto it is the million-dollar question. Now here's where the streets and the internet split in opinion, the should Kendrick respond debate. Some fans are yelling yes, saying it's time for Dot to step into a pure hip-hop back and forth without all the gossip and personal drama that came with his Drake war. They see Joey as a worthy lyrical opponent, someone who keep the beef about skill, bars, and wit. Others, they say it's beneath Kendrick. Why would the most decorated rapper of his generation go blow for blow with someone whose last major chart moment was almost a decade ago? Ray Vaughn even said it himself, Joey's on his level, not Kendrick's. And that's the exact point Ray's been hammering. If Joey can't out-rap him, what business does he have chasing the king? Some folks on X, Twitter, brought up history, saying Kendrick already dodged battles with Lupe Fiasco and Big Sean after Control, and he might be doing the same now. One viral post read, "All that call my name and you'll see Candyman talk was cap." But others fired back, pointing out that Kendrick's always been selective about his smoke, and when it came to Drake, he took years before finally letting loose. So maybe Dot's just playing the long game again. Another fan said, "Bosses battle bosses. Jay-Z didn't go after Jadakiss after Nas. He had Beanie handle that." Same thing here. Kendrick's got soldiers for a reason. There's also the argument about what this would do for New York. Right now, the city's mainstream rap spotlight isn't what it used to be. Outside of the Griselda crew, Ice Spice, and a handful of others, no one's really waving the NY flag at a high level. Joey stepping to Kendrick could be seen as a way of reminding the game the East still has spitters who can make it competitive. Some believe that's why Joey keeps pushing, not just for his own name, but to put New York back in the conversation. But here's the twist. A lot of these back and forths aren't even between Joey and Kendrick directly. They're Joey versus Ray Vaughn, Daylyt, and whoever else feels like defending the West. And to Joey, that's the problem. He wants the general, not the lieutenants. From a strategy point of view, Kendrick not responding could actually be the smartest move. He's still in the glow of his Drake win, and going back into another war so soon might feel like overkill. Plus, Joey's disses, while sharp, haven't crossed that line into you have to answer territory. They're mostly pride shots, career jabs, and East versus West banter. If Kendrick stays quiet, he keeps the mystery alive, letting the fans and media keep debating. If he answers, the whole thing becomes a real headline war and suddenly the stakes get way bigger. That said, Joey's not showing signs of letting this go. If anything, the more Kendrick stays silent, the louder Joey gets. He's openly said he wants that smoke and keeps finding ways to tie every West Coast jab back to Kendrick. Even when Vaughn cooks him, Joey spins it as Kendrick's letting his people do the talking. It's a smart play. Win or lose, just being in this conversation with Kendrick keeps Joey in the headlines. Ray, on the other hand, is milking this too. Every time Joey drops something, Ray answers fast and the disrespect level gets crazier. From mocking Joey's sales to clowning his crew, Ray's building his own name off this feud. It's become its own little side battle inside the bigger picture, and fans are watching both, not just to see if Kendrick ever jumps in, but to see who comes out on top between these two. If Kendrick does eventually fire back, expect it to be calculated. He's not the type to drop a rush diss. He studies, stacks ammo, then hits when the timing's perfect. But if Joey lands something truly damaging, something that cuts deep enough, then maybe, just maybe, Dot decides it's time to step into the ring. Until then, it's Vaughn holding the front line for the West, Joey Bada repping for New York, and Kendrick playing chess while the rest play checkers. So where does this leave us? We've got a beef that's entertaining as hell with layers of history, pride, and coast-to-coast competition. Joey's swinging for the king, Ray's protecting the throne, and the entire hip-hop world's watching to see if Kendrick takes the bait. Some think he's above it, others think it's the perfect stage for a lyrical showdown. Either way, every diss track, every sneak bar, every subliminal is adding more fuel to a fire that could explode at any time. This ain't just about rap, it's about who controls the narrative. Will Kendrick keep letting his soldiers fight his battles, or will he step into the war zone himself? Will Joey finally get the battle he's been chasing for over a decade? Or will this be another chapter of him knocking at the door and getting ignored? And will Vaughn keep proving he's more than just a defender, but a real threat on his own? The answers are coming. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but trust me, this story's far from over.